Hello and welcome. I'm back after last week's absence. Make sure this is working. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I'm back after last week's absence because I went to a convention. Came back with a cold, which I suppose is an improvement over coming back with COVID from Celebration. So if I sound a little bit stuffy, that's why. Let's see. Yep, okay, that's good. Got the right chat settings up. Hello there, welcome, fellow Darth. As I said, I am recovering from a cold, so I may cough a little bit. I mean, I still have that from COVID as well, but we'll see how that goes. I like how I've got one like already, and I haven't even done anything yet. Roku, that's very kind of you. If you want to support my work, tell all your friends about the channel and the videos that I do, because views help. Views and subscribers help too. So I do appreciate the thought that you'd like to donate, but you can't. That's fine. Just tell people. Just post it on your social media pages, or anywhere else that you know people that you think might enjoy it. All of that helps. And welcome. So the Galactic Sith Empire returns again and will stay alive and never be destroyed. Well, that is good news. Right, so where have you been recommending you for a while now? Well, in that case, thank you for doing that. I do appreciate it a lot. Excuse me. I'm going to have a quick drink of water before I explain what I've been doing this week. Okay. So, last weekend, when I say last weekend, I don't mean yesterday, I mean a week ago. I went to a convention, which was a lot of fun. That's why I wasn't streaming on the Monday, because I travelled home on Monday and was really tired when I got back. And then got a cold, so I'm a little behind on where I wanted to be with chapter 24. But I did do some motion capture today for chapter 24. I did 2 scenes worth with 4 characters, 2 characters in each one. So what I'm going to do today is go through the data and pick out the best performances to be used in the scenes. I could make you your own Sith holocron. I have one already on my desk. If I had a camera set up, I'd show you, but I don't. I never really thought anyone would want to see me when I could be showing what I'm actually doing on screen. But yeah, I do have a holocron on my desk. Excuse me. Hopefully that cough isn't going to be too bad. So, I am going to press play. So when I do the motion capture, I do several takes as one go. So we're going to watch through and see which one turned out best. So let's start with this. So one of the things I like to do is to adjust the smooth settings, because it can motion capture data, especially on this older suit, because it's not quite as precise as the newer ones, can be a little bit jittery, so the smooth options help reduce that. So let's play through it with the smooth settings on. Okay, let's go. That was me pressing my phone to start the recording, and we should start here. Excuse me. Now, if I remember correctly, the third take on this scene was the really good one. So we're currently on the first one. Obviously we don't have the audio to listen to that I was listening to. This one feels a little bit static. I wasn't really moving that much. Matthew, chapter 24, quarters. Me too. Obviously I've only just started working on it, so it's not going to be quite ready yet. But I did do some motion capture earlier today, which is what I'm working on now. Yeah, I think this one is not so great because I'm not actually doing anything. It usually takes me 2 or 3 takes to get really into it, because I listen to a rough recording, a rough version of the scene with the dialogue, so I can, act out what the characters are saying, or doing as they're saying it. But each time I listen to it, I feel like I get better at it because the scene is getting more and more in my head. Yeah, I think this one's not so good because he's not doing it much. Like, you see his head moving slightly. Zoom in a little bit. Also, I like to be watching it from this side once the scene is finished, so the camera will be here. And you do see the occasional glitches, like his leg just twitched and his hands are clipping through his arms. That's all fine. That will all be fixed properly in the animation software iClone. This is just to see the performance and pick out the best version of it for this scene. Right, that's the end of take 1. Take 2 starts there, because I moved the phone to be a bit closer and played the recording again. There we go. So take 2. I do remember this one should be a little bit better, I think. A little bit, slightly more animated. Hope you see what I did there. But I'm pretty sure, unless there's any major problems with it, I will be using a third take. Yeah, this is not so great either. Again, not moving as much as he should. And this is the one where I was listening to it and figuring out exactly what I needed to do. So when I came to the third take, I could just do it. Like, towards the end of this take, I get a little bit more animated as I was sort of getting more into it. That's just the way it is. I mean, having those voices to listen to really does help a lot. When I got started with the project, I would try and memorise the scenes and say them to myself as I was recording it, but this way works so much better. Yeah, still not anywhere near as animated as he should be. He's not necessarily the most expressive character, but he still needs to move a little bit more than this, which is why I think the third take would be the one. We should be almost there. I can skip ahead, which is what I would normally do when I was yeah, we are. The arm folding is close to the end. Hey, are you going to do this for the other two books in trilogy? Because it's amazing. I'd like to. I haven't made any solid plans yet because I need to get a little bit closer to the end of Heir to the Empire before I start looking at Dark Force Rising. Krogan, hello, welcome. But yeah, Rebel, I'm glad that you're enjoying it so much. I like to do these streams every Monday as well, just to do the sort of behind the scenes and showing my progress. There we go. Yeah, touching my phone again to start third take, which I think is the one I'm going to use. So yeah, every Monday I like to do a stream, which is usually some kind of making of thing. Whatever I'm working on at the moment for the series. So at the moment, of course, this is the motion capture data I recorded earlier. I've deliberately stayed away from it all day because I wanted to save it for this evening to show you guys. Yeah, this is the one that I think I'm going to use. This third take here. So glad someone made this. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. And it started off as a test project. I never expected to reach this point of the book. I thought I just wanted to test out some space battle ideas for chapter 1. And I threw it up on YouTube, not really expecting the reaction it got. And then, of course, here we are. Yeah, this looks like the one that I'm going to use. Because he's moving a little bit more, which makes him more interesting to watch. And he has to be kind of subtle about it, because even a character that is in so much control of himself, you still got to move just a little bit when he's talking. Now we're coming up to the point where one of the left foot is going to come off the ground, which I did not do. But it's one of those glitches that happens, and I hope it didn't interfere too much with when he twitched a bit. I can probably cut around that, so that should be right. Obviously I didn't do that myself, but the sensors do occasionally glitch, because it is an older suit. It's just the unfortunate reality of the technology. But yeah, it's just a tiny glitch, so if I don't have the camera focused on them at that particular moment, it should be right. Amazing ideas, amazing ideas. Well, thank you. It's nice to show you guys the work that goes into it. Obviously, I know you enjoy watching Heir to the Empire, but I did get lots of questions about how it was done. I thought, well, why don't I just stream some of it? There we go. So I get up to turn the suit off, and there we go. So let's find. There we go. Touch. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is this is the timeline, and I'm selecting the section of it that I want to use. Right. Got to center him because it makes it a lot easier to work with once the animation is in iClone. Export. I don't know if the export window will show up. It doesn't really matter if it doesn't. It's just a standard Windows save menu, really, with a few extra options specifically for motion capture data. Takes a moment to process it. And it's done. That data is now ready to be imported into iClone. I'm not going to do that yet. It's time to move on to the other character of the scene. So just load that up. Have another drink of water. I do apologise for the coughing. I did pick up a cold at the convention I went to last weekend. And over the worst part of it, but I still got the lingering parts of it, so hopefully it'll be better by next week. There we go. Now, I already know, because I remember the performance, like the last one, take 3 was the one I was happiest with when I actually did it. So we're going to skip ahead. Let's do the smoothing options. Excuse me. Floopy, hello, welcome. You'll just have to catch up after the stream. So I'm not going to go through the entire performance, the entire recording for this one, unless this one does not turn out right, because I'm pretty sure take 3, which is where I skipped ahead to, is the one I would like to use. So let's find the beginning of it. There we go. It's me touching my phone to listen to the recording. There we go. Now he's not going to be too animated either. But we're just going to watch through it and make sure there's no problems. General Parish, welcome. So this is for Captain Pelion. The reason his arm's up like this is I want to have him holding a data pad. So he's kind of got it tucked in his arm, he's holding it against himself. It makes it a little bit more interesting because he can look at the screen when he needs to. So it makes him a little bit more animated, so he's a bit more interesting to watch. And you'll see that right there actually. That was good timing. Complete coincidence, because again I have not watched this recording, this data, because I was saving it for this evening for the stream. Obviously I did it this morning, but then I left it alone. Looked on other things. Again, he's not the most animated character, so having that as a little option adds a lot to the scene. Just make it a little bit more interesting to watch visually. Getting closer to the end. I do enjoy doing the motion capture for scenes like this where it is just a simple conversation, because you have to if you got a scene where people are moving around and shooting each other or whatever, obviously there's a lot going on there, but it can be interesting to do the conversation scenes because you have to think about how the characters are going to move in a way that feels right for the conversation, but also like this is a very calm scene where they don't move, they don't even walk around. So I have to think about how to make the performance still feel like the characters are alive. There we go, that's the end of that. So I think the third take was there. So let me again trim it down to the beginning. And the end. So when he turns to walk away, that's when I turn to turn off the motion capture recording. But also you don't need that. I just want to figure the end of it. I'll just not render that bit. What scene would you say was the most challenging? Oh. That's a good question. Let me think about it for a moment. I would have to say, this is off the top of my head, I'd have to think about this properly, thinking back all the way through the project. But the one that comes to mind at the moment is Chapter 10. There is a shootout when Han and Leia are ambushed on Bafash. Yeah, yes, Bafash. Because I had to figure out how to do the scene with the limited space I had available, and also without injuring myself, because there's some stunt work in that. Because obviously people get shot, and so that's quite a challenge because I had to figure out all of that, and you know, the flow of the scene, and it's not like I had a big space to. If this was done on a professional studio, they'd have a big hall, and they'd put markers up to say where things were. I did not have that luxury, so I had to figure out in pieces and make sure those pieces actually made sense and lined up. So that's quite an interesting challenge. I wouldn't say anything's been so challenging that I've really struggled with it. Yeah, again, I'd have to think about that one. Right, so that's finished. And we're going to move on to the next scene that I did. Again, not the most exciting character performances to see. Excuse me. We're just going to load it up. And I believe I did 5 takes for this one. Let's see. This is 1. 2. Again, touching the phone. 3. 4. 5. Okay, just 4. Now I remember, again, the third one was the one I was happiest with when I did it. So, let's give that one a try. Just set the smooth options again, and play from here. Camera's probably going to be Disco Dancing Thrawn. You missed the Thrawn motion capture, I'm afraid. But he was not disco dancing. Because that would require me to disco dance, and that's not happening. Yeah, because I would have no idea how to disco dance. Yeah, that's the one I want to use. So that's the end of it there, where I turn to play it again. So that's the end. Hold it. Find the beginning of it now. That'll do it. A little bit too far. I'll wear the suit, I can tear off a rug. Hey, if you didn't live so far away, I mean, I'm assuming you don't live next door, I would totally take you up on that. Actually, there is a dance I can do. It's the Commander Shepard dance from Mass Effect. And I have done that in Commander Shepard's N7 armor at a convention. Good times. There's a video of that somewhere as well, which maybe I should not have said that. Alright, so this is the third take of this conversation. So that's the one I'm going to use. Save it. Again, it takes a moment. Less of a moment this time because it's the shortest section. Alright, and the last one. And I also remember, like the other three, the third take was the best one. I'm reading Edge of the Empire books as we speak. Even the comics as they are amazing books with great characters and stories behind them. They really are, and it's been so much fun bringing them to life with this project. I didn't put the smoothing options, so you saw a little bit of twitchiness when he was walking. This guy is probably the most animated of all of them because he does actually have some movement, because he approaches and then he turns away at the end and walks off. I can do the electric slide. So all you dancers, you live too far away to actually be here. So I can't put you in the suit, no matter how good it would be. Alright, so the thing about walking is it's not necessarily I don't think the right word for it. The suit doesn't necessarily capture it entirely accurately. So I've zoomed in close on the timeline to this section. So these light sections are when the foot is off the ground. So this is the left foot, and you can see it there. And you can tell it's off the ground, well, partly because it's moving. When it's on the ground, the little red ball appears. So if you see here on the right foot, it's moving, and then it touches the ground, and then lifts off the ground again. So what I'm going to do is select that bit and then press uncontact, which means throughout the entire section it's completely off. It makes the movement a little steadier. So I'm just going to do that to there and here. So let's have a look. Yeah, that looks weird. I remember I haven't got the smoothing options yet, so when I finish this bit, I'll add the smoothing options. So we've got to do the when he turns and walks away. Just the one. Don't need to worry about this bit because we're going to turn around to do the next take. We don't need that. Okay, that'll do. Zoom back out because we need the beginning of the take. Okay, so let's put the smoothing settings in. Apply. Okay, let's watch it through again now. You should hopefully notice a difference when he starts walking. On the couch. I do. I guess I was asking for trouble when I made that previous statement about you all living so far away, wasn't I? But yeah, bring your suit to the USA. That would also be a good fun option. happy with this so far. Let's just see the last few seconds when he turns to walk away. Wayfind cannabis is legal in my state. Well, it's good. I've heard that some states it is and some it isn't. So obviously, for those who do partake, you live in the right state for it. Have you ever been to America? I have been to America quite a few times. Not for a while. There we go, just saving that. Yeah, so that's all the motion capture done. I picked out the full performances. The next stage is to load it into 3D Exchange and do some processing on it. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to save that for the next stream. Well, I'm not going to do... Let's think. I'm going to take two performances I just worked through and work on them through the week. I'll save the other two for the stream next week. So yeah, that's the trip I have. I've been to America a few times. Really enjoyed myself every single trip. Got lots of friends and family who visited in different parts of America. Yeah, I really like your country, and hopefully it's not too long before I get to visit again. Obviously it's been a bit difficult in the last few years, but we'll see. I'll take you shooting. Never fired a gun, so that would be an interesting experience. Well, I mean, I fired Nerf guns and things like that, but not a real one. So yeah, that's all the motion capture data done. I'm going to save 2 characters for next week's stream, so you can sort of see the progress. Now, I don't want to end the stream just yet, because I'm enjoying talking to you guys, but I've actually finished the work, so I'm just going to leave that up on the screen and chat a little bit longer before I head off to bed. You'll love it. It does look like it'd be fun. There are places here I could go shooting, it's just not something I've actually done. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is take another quick drink of water. I also have a complete Battle of Hoth in Lego. Now, I'd like to see that. Must take up a lot of space. Cancel the wheels. Oh good, I thought I missed it. Nope. Well, I finished the work I was going to do, but I didn't want to end the stream just yet because it's a little bit early. I say early, it's midnight. But yeah, once the stream's finished, you want to go back and see what I did. Today I recorded some motion capture data for chapter 24, so I've just been choosing the performances I wanted to use for the 4 characters and saving those so they're ready to be used in the scene. What I plan to do next week is save 2 of those to work on next week's stream. The other 2 I will just carry on and work on anyway, because if I only work on the stream it's going to take forever to finish. But it's nice to do one stream that leads into the next and then into the next and so on. So yeah, that's what today's stream has been. 3 and that's all in terms now. Still have a lot to build. Sounds very impressive. The only assets I I have, I'm afraid, of the tiny little ones, which were good though in the snow. When we had snow earlier this year, I took some outside and recreated the Battle of Hoth in microfighter scale by using camera perspectives to make the little figures look like they're actually fighting big walkers. Similar kind of tricks that they use in The Hobbit in Lord of the Rings. Crazy, what's up? Sorry I'm late. Better late than never. Oh, hang on. This is Ghetto Robots. I just refurbished my suit and it's working 100%. Got new parts. So, which suit do you use? This is a Perception Neuron 1. So it's the first suit they did. So it's obviously old and nowhere near as good as the newer ones. At some point I'm going to need to replace it, but they're really expensive now. I made a game of it. Good. Alright, so enjoy your shower. Thank you for stopping by, and enjoy building your Sith Empire. Same suit you have. Okay, good. Nice to find someone else who uses the same suit. I've done so many good things with that suit that I would never have been able to do animating manually or using stock animations. And it really gives each project its own unique feel. Like when you see the characters move, that's completely unique to this to that video. And even though some a lot of stock animations are going to be better than what you can do, because obviously they got proper gear and they do all the motion capture cleanup properly and all that kind of stuff. But other people can use the same motions in their films. So I do use stock animations for things like characters flying in the air or anything that would likely damage my suit, because I'm not risking it. Well, myself, I guess. But anything that's walking around, talking, I do some of the action stuff. I just don't do anything that involves flying through the air. Elmondo, oh my god, I just discovered your animations, now I find you live. Yeah, so most Mondays I will stream, and it's usually behind the scenes making Heir to the Empire. I do other things sometimes too, when sometimes I play games, depending on my progress with Heir to the Empire. I don't always like to show what I'm working on, because sometimes it's nice to make something secret and just show you when it's finished. But yeah, earlier today I recorded motion capture data for a couple of scenes in chapter 24. So tonight's stream I've been processing it, choosing the animations I want to use, those particular takes. It's all done now. I mean, when the stream is over, it'll get saved automatically to my channel, so you can check it out if you want to see what you missed. But yeah, most Mondays, if I'm not going to be around, I post something on the community page of the channel. Yeah, and crash into wire wings. Yeah, so thank you so much for reminding me of that. I should play Squadrons sometime and see how many wire wings I can crash into in that game on stream. Maybe I'll save that for the next time I don't have anything to show for Heir to the Empire. Well, since I have finished everything, I just stayed a little bit longer to chat to you guys. I think Age of Empire Palpatine. So yeah, I think because I've finished, I think I'm going to end the stream now. Not really much more I can show because the next part is going to be saved for next week. I think your record is somewhere around 6 Y-Wings. Do you have Battlefront 2? That would be a fun stream. Which Battlefront 2 are you talking about? Because there are 2 Battlefront 2s. Hi Darth, did you get the picture I had my friend send on Instagram me wearing? Oh. Let me have a look. Someone sent me something, but because I didn't know who the sender was, I didn't actually have a look. But hold on. Oh, I found it. Let's have a look. Opening up. So I can't see the chat when I'm doing this because I've done it on a... There we go. Now I see. Yes. So good to see this picture. Alright, let me get back to the chat. Geek Squadron. Yeah, so thank... I've seen the picture now. That is an excellent picture. All 3 of you look really happy there. And I do remember when you told that story originally, that it really made my day. Well, made my week, really. About how you met him and told him about the show. And how excited he was for the t-shirt. So thank you so much for sending me that picture. And again, thank you so much for the super chat there. I do always appreciate your support. It means a lot. I thought that was his wife. Yeah. She is definitely wearing the right t-shirt for the occasion. So yeah, I'm glad you got her to be involved in it in the picture too. I imagine she's not used to that because she's usually one taking the pictures of him with the fans. So I think it must have been a nice surprise that she got asked to be in the picture as well. What's on her t-shirt? It's the book cover for Heir to the Empire. Yes. When I met him many years ago, she was so nice as well. Kind of hoping I get to meet him at some point. I'm disappointed she didn't make it to Celebration. But I guess there are other conventions that could happen. So hopefully he does come over again sometime soon. Although, maybe not quite so soon. Maybe when I've finished Heir to the Empire and I can give him a copy. It's no good doing it before. I can't give him at this point because it's not finished, but it would be nice to give him a complete copy of it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. Don't know if he'd be able to take it, but you know, if you meet him, give him a t-shirt. I will do that. Though Geek Squadron has made that promise already. Maybe we can get you over here, States one of these. What's everyone trying to... So you missed it earlier, but Hoppy has already been trying to get me to come over um, this evening. But yeah, everyone's conspiring to get me over back to America. I have been before, but it's been a while. It would be nice to go to a con that Timothy Zahn was at. I've just been to 2 conventions in the last month, so that's kind of seriously drained my wallet. So it might be a while before I can make it over, but that's fine because, again, I need to finish Heir to the Empire so I can actually give him a complete copy of it. He's got one in New York in June. Yeah, I don't think I can make it over that quickly. We Americans are pushy like that sometimes. I do appreciate it. I feel that brother cons are not cheap. No, they're really not. Hi, Breezy, as well. Good to see you. Join the dark side of America. And Celebration, especially, was not cheap. Excuse me. The souvenir I came back with was COVID and that cough. I didn't buy anything there except food. So yeah, maybe sometime next year I can time a trip with his convention, because I think hopefully I'll have finished Heir to the Empire by then. We'll see. Dude, bet I've never been just because I can't stand to give up the money for a con, even though it's no regular con, but still. They've had 3 celebrations in the UK, and I've been to all 3 of them. The first one I just did for a day. Celebration is definitely not cheap. It was bad at the early celebrations, but inflation. The first one I went to just for the day, and it was a little bit more expensive than the regular cons, but not terribly so. And of course I just went for one day. Didn't have a hotel or anything, just travelled there and back. It was fun. I didn't really know anyone. But I did enjoy the experience. Then they did one in 2016. Oh, it wasn't as bad. Okay. Yeah, so I went in 2016. That one was a little bit more expensive, but it wasn't outrageously so. I had a lot of fun at that one. I knew so many friends who went to that. It was one of the best conventions experiences I've ever had. And there was so much to see and do. And of course the Thrawn reveal for Rebels was there. And I was at the panel when that happened. So I was in the room when they first showed the trailer, and that's the atmosphere in that room when he did show up was so electric that I just can't really describe it. I still remember it perfectly. But yeah, I was really pleased to be in that room, and I kicked myself on asking Dave Filoni a question about animation. I thought about it after the panel, kind of a technical animation question about how long it takes to render and all that kind of stuff. Because I thought it'd be fun to have that kind of conversation rather than what's your favourite Star Wars movie or something like that. But I only thought about it afterwards. But I remembered the question at this celebration. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to ask him because the only panel that he was taking questions on was completely full nearly 2 hours before it started, and I did not realise it was going to be that busy, so I missed my chance. Geez, the iPad sucks. Yeah, they can do for typing. Good base network spreading the good work. Right, you're at the Empire of the Night. Well, I do appreciate everyone talking about my work. So a big thank you to Echo Base Network for that. You'll come when you are a keynote speaker at a convention. I have appeared at a convention as a guest before. At DragonCon, actually. The last time I went, which was a decade ago. Celebration 5 was when I first got so many autographs that year for $20. You could add another zero to that for those kind of guests at the most recent celebration. Obviously not Carrie Fisher. Did you say Jackson Hole? No, I said Dragon Con. It was. They did cinema screenings, and I got involved with those. So, the person who was running it chose some of my films, and in the kind of tradition every year, she asked me what I had done. Since the previous one. So the last time she said, "Why don't you run the talk, and we'll get you a guest pass, so it's free entry for the whole weekend. Well, obviously I still have to pay for a hotel room. But yeah, I did that, and it was fun to have that, because you could get into places where you're not supposed to. And another one of my friends also had it, and we compared stories about things that we'd found that we could do that we couldn't do before. Like, he went in to look around the dealer's room before it opened, and I wish I had known I could do that. I did get into some panels that I probably would not have been able to do just as a regular guest, because they were going to be quite popular. I met Emily Swallow. I got an auto and picture, and it was $50. That's a bargain. I think she was $150 at Celebration. The cheapest guests were, I think it was the actress, the little girl that played young Leia in Kenobi, and she was £90, which is about $120, I think. I don't know the current exchange rate, but yeah. And when you think that's all she's done, really, the most I ever paid for a guest, which was also about a decade ago, so obviously inflation and all that, was Sigourney Weaver, and that was £90. I did not mind paying that for her, because she's a legend for all the stuff she's done, like Alien and Ghostbusters and everything else. I found I could not justify paying that price for someone who's starting out. I mean, I liked what she did in Kenobi, but not that much. That would be great for you to do a fan animation panel. Maybe hearing you talk about how you've done the series would inspire other people to take on other trilogies. You know, it would be fun to do that. I only just because of. Let me have another drink of water. Happy, that's very funny. Let me catch up with this. Wow, this was a small con in the States, if it speaks like. I think you got a bargain. Yeah, that's too much for a little. Yeah, and so you can imagine the guest prices were a lot. They got more expensive from that point. So I didn't meet any of them. I did get close to Andy Serkis when he walked past. He went into the Funko Pop booth, and they had they just released a game with little tiny Funko Pop figures. The Star Wars themed, obviously. And he came to have a look at that, and they were showing him. He was about 2 meters away from me, so I got some pictures of him looking at the game, and I wasn't the only one. People sort of crowded around me, but I was lucky where I was to get some really good shots. And I went to there was an Ahsoka meetup, and I was cosplaying as Thrawn, so I thought that'd be fun to turn up at and see what kind of reaction I get. And so when you're at a cosplay photo shoot, you get someone organising, and they say, well, this particular one is get all the Ahsokas together, and they do that, and then they said get everyone that's Ahsoka and Ahsoka related together. So that meant anyone that was connected to a character. So Anakin and Obi-Wan's got in, and I got in. There's another Thrawn who got in, and just the way the crowd worked, I ended up being near the front. And Ashley Eckstein turned up to see the meetup, and she gave some speech about Ahsoka being popular to a lot of people and all that kind of stuff. And then she posed in front of the group, and again she was even closer to me than Andy Serkis was. I didn't get to talk to her or anything like that because obviously she was talking to the people right at the front, then the organisers of the group, and then she got hurried off to the next thing she had to do. But that's my two celebrity moments at Celebration, which I didn't have to pay for. Some of the Ahsoka cosplayers were really hilarious when they spotted me. I was getting into character sort of, saying I heard you were looking for me, and one of them shouted back, yeah, now we found you, go away. But she was laughing as she was saying it. She wasn't being rude or anything like that. And that's kind of funny interactions. But yeah, it would be fun to do convention talking about Heir to the Empire and animation. When COVID started, well, I went to a convention in December before COVID, and at that point Heir to the Empire hadn't really taken off the way it has now, so there was no real opportunity to do that there, and I only just started getting comfortable going to conventions. But yeah, it might be fun to reach out to a few and see if they're interested. I have to compile a list. Jedi Academy Trilogy and Hand of Thrawn. I'd really like to see Hand of Thrawn done. I don't know how long it would take me to get to that point. Because it'd be fun to do it myself, but I don't know if someone might beat me to it, and that's fine too. It'd be fun to watch it done. I get the same experience you guys get watching my stuff. I like to be able to watch someone else's take on a book. But yeah, you guys are giving me a lot to think about this evening. Talking to celebrities, so much fun. Yeah. Could you do a screening? It depends on what the convention wants to do. I mean, I'd be happy to do it if they want to do it, and they also have to provide the equipment to screen it on. I'm not opposed to the idea. It depends on the convention, really. You could just keep doing your work. You just keep doing your work. Yeah, well, I intend to. It's just that that's 5 books, and I'm still on the first one. Yeah, someone asked me if I'd go all the way to Battle of... I don't remember the name of the book. It's with Abeloth, that series. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, I don't think I could do that in my lifetime. Which is a strange thing to think about. You'd fill seats. Well, you know, I will reach out to a couple of conventions and see if they're interested. And see where it goes. Because it could be fun. I'd come. Well, if it... Excuse me. If anything happens like that, I will definitely post about it and let you guys know on the stream. New Jedi Order, right? Nope, it's beyond that. The New Jedi Order is 19 books. I think even that would be beyond my lifetime. But there's 3 series after that. There's a trilogy. I guess that's not really a series. And then there was a 9 book series, and another 9-book series. Face of the Jedi and something else. Was it Face of the Jedi and Legacy of the Jedi? No. I can't remember now. The Head of Throne trilogy is a great closure point for post-Return of the Jedi EU. The conflict of the Imperial Remnant is resolved, the Kumar get together and the new Jedi Order is up and running. Yeah, and it's a very interesting story as well. So it'd be a lot of fun to tell that story. It's just a huge project. When you think that so far I've only done most of 1 book. I'd have to really increase my work speed. Legacy of the Force. No. The New Jedi Order is the Yuuzhan Vong. Legacy of the Force. I can't remember. But I do remember New Jedi Order is the 19-book series with the Yuuzhan Vong invasion. Hand of Thrawn is my favourite. Yeah, I really enjoyed Hand of Thrawn. And then I listened to the audiobooks not long ago. Well, I say not long ago. It was during one of the lockdowns. And I'd forgotten a lot of the story, so it was not experiencing it again for the first time. And that was a really fun experience. It's also super long. Vision of the Future is 700 pages long. Yeah. It's like one of the biggest Star Wars books ever published. I've got the hardback copy over there somewhere. Something with Ewoks. There's always... There's always the Wraith Squadron books with their Ewok pilot jokes. There's so many good books that could be animated. But there's no way I can do all of them, so I would definitely like to see other people take them on. And be able to watch them myself. Because even though I enjoy As the Empire, I can watch it. I know I'm watching my work, so I'm looking at it and think, I could do that bit better now because I understand the software a little bit better, and I'm looking at it from that perspective. But if I'm watching someone else's work, I can just sit back and enjoy it. Or should I animate them or someone else who actually loves them as we do? Yeah, I always try to say that I want to see other animators and filmmakers pick up the other books. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think it might be time to wrap up the stream. I was going to do that about 20 minutes ago, then we got chatting about conventions and things. Over time, I want to learn animation and maybe tackle some of those books, but I have original stories that I would animate too. It's good to have a balance between fan stuff and original stuff. Um, I've got a few original ideas, but I haven't really. I was working on something, and then all kinds of stuff happened in the real world, which was the backstory of what I was doing. I thought, this is really weird because what I've just written is coming true, and I don't like it because it wasn't good things. It's like it's a story set about 70 years in the future after Earth's been ravaged by war and disease and all kinds of other stuff. I thought, I feel like I'm living this story now. I don't want to make it, and I don't think anyone's going to want to watch it. So I've still got the script somewhere, but I put it on the shelf, and I'm not going to do that. But I've got some other ideas as well. Ray Stevenson passed away. I know, that was sad to see, because he was at Celebration a few weeks ago too. I saw him there. I didn't get to meet him because he wasn't there meeting fans. He was one of the... what they did was they had various actors who would come out and talk about whatever it was they're involved with, and then they would go. There's no chance to have autographs or anything, or photos or anything like that. And of course he was there to promote Ahsoka. So I saw him there, and then hearing that news, it's kind of sad to think that it's only a few weeks ago that I was in the same place as him. I'd like to see a reaction stream of you watching Holiday Special. You're going to have to imagine what that would be, because I am not going to watch it. Have a good day. Thank you. May the throne be with you. Thank you. Have a good night. I forgot to ask, have you ever thought about re-rendering your film Imperials in Omniverse? Yes. I don't know if I will or not. It was made with a much older version of iClone, so there's no reason I can't do it. It's just a lot more work than just swapping the character models with newer ones. Because my understanding of motion capture and cleanup and all that kind of stuff is very different now. So I would want it to look as good as what Heir to the Empire does now, and that might be tricky. But maybe. The Ahsoka series is going to feel so different now. It is. I hope they dedicate it to him. At least the first episode that he appears in. I have re-rendered old projects before. If you look at my channel and find something called Alone, there are multiple versions of that across multiple software packages. More or less the same story each time. I use the same recorded dialogue each time, but it makes a fun little test project to learn new software, because it's only a few minutes long. It's kind of a short sci-fi horror story, but it's a good way to learn the software, because you get to learn all the lighting and to recreate the lighting and animate the characters again, and all of that. So next time there's a big leap in this software I'm using, I'll probably make it again. I think my last one render of it was last year for Halloween, because I wanted to learn Omniverse. And what I did was I'd rendered half of it to learn Omniverse, and then I carried on with Heir to the Empire. I thought, Halloween's coming up, let me finish this. It makes a good spooky story for Halloween. So make a quick drink of water again. So yeah, I am going to wrap up the stream now and get some sleep, because it is 1:15 a.m. So thank you everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed watching me do the motion capture stuff. I had a great time chatting with you about conventions and Star Wars, like we always do. Geek Squadron, thank you so much for the super chat, as always. That's greatly appreciated, and it was good to see that picture as well. I'm sorry I missed. I'm sorry I missed your friend sending it to me. I think it must have been sat there for a few days. But I'm glad you came along and told me that it was there, so I saw it, and yeah, it's good to see. I'm going to watch the rest of the episodes you have uploaded so far. Good, I hope you enjoy it. Up to 23, so you've got some watching to do. So have a good night everyone, see you all next time, and may the Thrawn be with you. Take care.